Is that me? Good morning. That's Dad.
Dada.
Dad.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
It's a story no one thought we'd be telling, not like this, not now, and definitely not with this ending. The Prince of Darkness, the godfather of heavy metal, the one and only Ozzy Osbourne, has always lived a life filled with chaos, drama, noise, and passion. But even in death, his legacy isn't resting in peace. Because what has surfaced surrounding his funeral isn't just heartbreaking, it's shocking. A revelation that has left fans speechless, and family insiders torn. The word has spread fast. Aimee and Kelly Osbourne, Ozzy's daughters, were reportedly not invited to his funeral service. Yes, you heard that right. Not attending, not invited, in a family that has lived more than half its life in the spotlight. Through wild TV moments, near-death experiences, tabloid wars, rehab stories, and public reconciliations, this latest twist feels different. It's not ratings, it's not PR, it's raw, real family heartbreak. A private wound that somehow slipped through into the public eye. But before we rush to judgment, before we scroll past this headline as just another celebrity family meltdown, maybe we should pause and really look at what's going on here. Because this story isn't just about a funeral, it's about estrangement, it's about pain. It's about the burden of legacy, the meaning of goodbye, and how sometimes even love doesn't survive the noise. To understand why Ozzy's daughters were allegedly left out of his final farewell, we have to rewind the clock, all the way back to the beginning, back to the early days of fame, madness, and family unraveling. Ozzy Osbourne's family has always walked a complicated tightrope between love and dysfunction. Sharon, his wife and longtime manager, was always the backbone, the strategist, the protector, and sometimes the enforcer. Together, they raised 3 children, Aimee, Kelly, and Jack. But from the very start, the dynamics were different. Aimee, the eldest, rejected the fame. She wanted no part in the Osbournes, the MTV reality show that skyrocketed the family's chaotic home life into millions of living rooms. She moved out at 16. She refused to be on the show. She wanted peace, privacy, and a life of her own. But that decision, though understandable, created a rift that never quite healed. Kelly, on the other hand, leaned into the spotlight. She became the firecracker of the family, the outspoken, fearless daughter who matched her parents' energy and sarcasm punch for punch. Through fashion phases, public outbursts, and deeply personal struggles, Kelly has always remained fiercely loyal to her family, or so it seemed. But loyalty, especially in the Osbourne household, has always come with conditions. Lines blurred, relationships fractured, and while the cameras rolled and the money flowed, not everything made it to the screen. Behind the scenes, sources say the sisters never truly got along. Aimee and Kelly, though born of the same mother and father, were like oil and water. Their relationship was distant, civil at best, toxic at worst, and Ozzy, caught in the middle, often chose silence over confrontation. He was, after all, dealing with his own demons. Fast forward to recent years, Ozzy's health began to decline. The Parkinson's diagnosis, multiple surgeries, cancelled tours. Each update was another crack in the illusion that the Osbourne family was unbreakable. As his condition worsened, those close to him say he wanted peace. He wanted to be surrounded by those who made him feel calm, cared for, not those who reignited old arguments or reopened old wounds. It was Sharon who reportedly took the reins on funeral plans. According to a close family friend, Sharon has had very firm boundaries when it comes to who gets access to Ozzy in his final days and who is involved in what she called the sacred goodbye. That same source added that Sharon believed drama had no place at a deathbed. That may explain why, when the private list of attendees for Ozzy's funeral was quietly circulated, 2 names were missing, Aimee and Kelly. And that's when the rumors became headlines. The backlash was immediate. Fans were outraged. How could they do this to his daughters? One tweet read, "This is disgusting. No one should be banned from their father's funeral." Others, however, defended Sharon's decision. Funerals are for the living. Maybe there's more to this story than we know. And oh, there is. In the days following the story's explosion, both Aimee and Kelly remained eerily silent. No tweets, no statements, no cryptic Instagram stories. Just silence. But those close to Aimee say the pain was crushing. Not because she needed a spotlight moment, but because, after everything, she hoped for one thing: closure. As for Kelly, insiders say she was blindsided. She allegedly assumed her presence was not only welcome but expected. She's always been in Ozzy's public circle. But behind closed doors, tensions between Kelly and Sharon have quietly flared in recent years. Differing views, a power struggle, and years of unresolved bitterness may have led to a tipping point, and Ozzy, well, those closest to him say he wasn't calling the shots anymore. That, in the end, it was Sharon's decision. One friend of the family, speaking under anonymity, revealed something chilling. Ozzy didn't want to die in drama. He told Sharon once, "Don't let them fight around my name." That's what this was about. So maybe, just maybe, this wasn't about punishment. It was about protection. Still, for many fans, the question remains, what's the legacy when your own children can't say goodbye? And what does that say about the man we all thought we knew, the wild rocker who bit the head off a bat, who screamed on stage for decades, but who, in his final moments, was just a father, surrounded by only some of his family? It forces us to look deeper, to ask how fame shapes family, to ask what happens when the spotlight turns into a shadow, and to wonder if there's any such thing as peace in a household that was built on noise. This story is far from over. Aimee and Kelly may never publicly address this. Sharon may never confirm or deny anything. And Ozzy's legacy, though eternal in music, will always have this moment attached to it. A moment where silence screamed louder than any heavy metal record ever could. But here's what we do know. Grief is messy, family is complicated, and funerals, they reveal more than we're ready to admit. So if you've made it this far, watching and listening not just to the drama, but to the heart of this story, then take a moment. Reflect on your own relationships, the calls you haven't made, the forgiveness you've postponed, the bitterness you've carried longer than you should have. Because when the music stops, and the crowds are gone, and the lights fade, what's left is the love we gave, and the goodbyes we honored. Ozzy Osbourne was many things: a legend, a madman, a survivor, but in the end, he was a father. And whether or not he got the goodbye he wanted from all his children, we may never know, but maybe that's the real tragedy. If this story moved you, if it made you think, or if you just want to see more truth behind the headlines, take a second right now, leave a comment below. What do you think about the decision to leave Aimee and Kelly out of the funeral? Was it justified, or unforgivable? Click like if you believe in family healing. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because these are the stories we tell. The ones behind the curtains. The ones that hurt, the ones that matter. Rest in power, Ozzy, and to Aimee and Kelly. Wherever you are, may you still find your peace.